What's up guys, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be showing you all my new poncho slash shelter half. So starting off, I'll be showing you guys the tag, just kind of demonstrate what it is. It says Poncho Wet Weather Nylon OG207, OG207 being the color, nylon being the material, and then wet weather obviously being for wet weather, and then poncho right here. It's a multi-purpose poncho. It can be used as a blanket or a sleeping bag. You snap the two long ends together. You can use it as a tent by snapping two ponchos together as sidewalls, and a third you can use as a floor. And this would also commonly be used as a shelter half. So you would basically find another guy, and then you guys would just snap them together and make a full tent. Obviously this is only one, but even with a shelter half as implied, you can still get a decent amount of coverage on about 3 sides, or 2.5. This would just be using, 4 stakes. So obviously one at this corner, one at that corner, one over there, and then one for the bank line over there. And what you do is you tie, I'd say you need about 10 feet of paracord, give or take. You put, you tie it down over there, obviously. You run it through the eyelet, of course. You run it through this eyelet right here, and then you're gonna wanna make it and stake it right there. And you'll also need a pole. You can use a hiking stick, or I'm just using a bamboo, piece of bamboo that I found. And yeah, it's pretty simple. You just rig it up in this configuration. And yeah, you can put most of your gear, I'd say, inside. It gives a decent amount of coverage for what it is, at least, obviously. It's not a tent, it's just a tarp slash poncho. It's not meant to be a full-on, enclosed shelter, right? This is meant to be kind of a, I wouldn't say last resort, but obviously this isn't your ideal shelter situation, but it's good to have. It's pretty lightweight and pretty comfortable, all things considered. Especially for 10 bucks I got it for, it was a really great deal. You can see inside, you got a decent amount of room. I mean, obviously if you're a bigger guy, you might not fit in this, but I'm, on the smaller side, so this works perfectly for me. You have a decent amount of room in there. You can see I got the U.S.G.I sleeping mat with the U.S.G.I poncho slash shelter half. And as you can see, you got a decent amount of room. I got my, all my gear down there. And yeah, in a sec I'll show you guys how effective it is as a poncho. But first, I'll be showing y'all me inside of there. So as you can see, I'm about 5'7", and obviously you still get a little bit of the sun depending on where the sun is, but obviously depending on the time of day, you'll try to rig it up so that your face is not in the sun. Ideally, you'll have your face out of this end, your feet down in the corner. And if you really want to back into here, you'll see, I get a decent amount of coverage here. Obviously it's not ideal, but like I said, this isn't meant to be like a full-on enclosed tent. It's just meant to be a quick tarp setup. Like, let's say it starts just pouring rain out of nowhere, or it's hot as hell and need a break. You rig it up real quick, and boom, done. In less than 5 minutes, you can set up this easy, low space tarp that acts as a tent. So there's a big difference between, obviously, tent and tarp, okay? But I would much prefer this in a lightweight situation where I need lightweight gear. I don't want to carry a big tent around, and I'm just doing a day, day hike, obviously. So just keeps you out of the elements. It's a pretty hot day today, pretty humid, and there's a significant difference in temperature from inside and outside. So that just goes to show the effectiveness of this. And next I'll be showing you guys how to use it as a poncho. This is it as a poncho, and as you can see, it's pretty big. I can't speak to the effectiveness as it hasn't rained in LA for a couple weeks now, but you can see right here there's snaps, and these snaps go all the way down. I believe it's the long side of the poncho, I think. And basically what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to snap all of those snaps closed, and then you get armholes. And I gotta say, for a tarp with a hood, it's a pretty good poncho. You also get a drawstring you can use to close it like this. So obviously it's more, protective of your head. And the armholes are decent. Can't speak to how well it works. There are some holes in it. Obviously, this was made in 1982, so it is old. It's extremely old. And so, for something this thin, there will be some holes in it. But for something that's 40 years old, doesn't smell great either, but hey, it works in a pinch. And for 10 bucks, I think that's a pretty good deal in my opinion. But yeah, that's the Poncho. See you guys in the next vid.